What was what made you want to get what made you want to start doing AI and automation in your firm in the first place?
AI has been advancing every day, and I feel like it's an asset. If I didn't implement it in my law firm, then I would be left behind. So I'm learning every day, and I'm able to have a lot of productivity, efficiency throughout my firm. And so I'm looking to implement it as much as I can, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair. Where do you think it's going? Like in terms of where do you think it's going? What do you think AI does to the future of law?
So at the very least, it's definitely gonna help me with all my repetitive tasks, right? So it's able to cut down on all the repetitive, tedious tasks. So if I have a paralegal or secretary in the office, I'm able to give them actual legal work to do instead of just doing, you know, the same repetitive tasks every day. And where I think it's going, I think it's definitely going to help us be more proficient at our jobs. It's able to help us research a lot quicker and basically pass down those efficiencies to our client as well too.
Fair, fair. What was the thing that surprised you the most in terms of the whole process, starting to work with Claude, or what surprised you the most?
I think Claude Code is what surprised me the most, is whereas I would be reaching out to consultants or I would be reaching out to developers, like I would have this idea in my mind, but I didn't know how to implement it. And just through basic language and like some YouTube videos and obviously learning this from you, I'm able to kind of put that vision in my mind on the computer and just see it come to life in the same day.
Yeah. No, it was really cool just like seeing you go off and build things and then come back and see the progress you're able to make. I think that was really cool. I think there was one week where you went I think you did the whole site in like a week or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. That way it was like it was just like one thing after the next, and I was like, this is pretty cool. So I just wouldn't stop.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. What was the hardest thing or the thing where it's like you kind of had some doubts about it?
Yeah, I think at one point, like when I was in the beginning stages where I'm like, am I wasting my time with this? Should I just go back to Clio? And then I think I was using Clio that week, and then I ran into the same issue of why I went to AI to like build my own system. And then I'm like, you know what? What's the worst that's gonna happen? Let me just try it. And if it breaks, I can always go back to Clio. And I think that was the week where I just like went through and I built it out and I just kept doing it and kept doing it. And then I'm like, you know what? This actually is something that works for me because now I can build automations how I want. I don't have to have a million features. I have the features that I want. And what I also like is like as I'm going through and if I think of something, I write it down and then I can just implement it right then and there.
Yeah, I think that's the coolest thing. I think especially with if you don't need to build this huge app, right, with tens of thousands of users and all this type of stuff, I think it
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense for a smaller firm to think about making their own thing and just tailoring it to their workflows.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. And then what would you say to any law firm that's sort of on the fence right now, thinking about doing AI and implementation, automation, that kind of stuff? What would you say to them?
So what I would say is if like me, I was a little bit more tech savvy. I like technology, so I love creating things. So if there's any attorneys that have that kind of knack for it, definitely do this. And I think your method of doing this is the best way to do it because not only are you doing building it with us, you're also teaching us to do it. And I haven't really found a service that does that. So what I like is that we're not dependent on you. So like say tomorrow if something breaks, you've taught me how to like go in and quickly diagnose it instead of waiting for tech support or waiting a couple days to figure that out.
Yeah.
Uh, I think if firms or attorneys they don't use AI or for whatever start small, I think it's going to hurt us in the long run.
Yeah. Fair. Fair. Yeah. And I think it's beneficial for both of us, right? Because we can move a lot faster if you sort of understand how to do things. I think
Exactly.
a lot of businesses are scared of their revenue, right? If somebody figures out how to do it on their own, then some people are scared of the revenue in that sense. But there's just a lot of people to help, a lot of value to create. So yeah, I think you're completely right about that. You
Yeah,
have any final thoughts or any final words about your experience overall or about AI or anything like that?
No, I mean, my experience has been great. I mean, AI, where it's going day by day, I feel like when I learn something today, there's like a new feature tomorrow. And come to think of it, I almost think sometimes I'm like, what would we do without AI? Right? Because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
so at it right now. So
yeah.
yeah, uh, I'm always looking forward to like the next thing that's coming out and how to basically optimize it for my firm.
Yeah, no, yeah, it is pretty exciting and it's moving pretty fast. I
Yeah.
appreciate this, man. It's been great.
No, it's perfect.